We shall now hear some opening remark by Mr. Mukisaki Tui, Secretary General of UNCTAD. Mr. Kuti, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It is a singular honor for me to bid you all welcome to this special Trade and Development Board meeting, marking the 50th anniversary of UNCTAD. My special thanks go to Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellency Mr. Triyono Wibowo, President of the Trade and Development Board, Your Excellency Ms. Simonetta Somruga, Vice President and Federal Councillor of the Swiss Federation, Your Excellency Mr. Hamad bin Abdulaziz Al-Kawari, Minister of Culture, Arts and Heritage of the State of Qatar and President of the UNCTAD 13, and three very special guests who have served UNCTAD so valiantly over the years and are with us today. Mr. Eugene Kofi Adoboli of Togo, Mr. Julio Lacarte Muro of Uruguay, and Mr. Jack Stone of the United States. I want to also express my very special appreciation to His Excellency President Leonel Fernandez Reina, former President of the Dominican Republic, and my two immediate predecessors, Mr. Rubens Recupero and Dr. Supachai Pagdi, who have accepted my invitation to join us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond my capacity as UNCTAD Secretary General, this occasion carries very personal significance to me. As a Kenyan born at the sunset of the Mau Mau liberation struggle and the dawn of the African independence, I have lived through the challenges that led to the creation and remain at the heart of UNCTAD. Newly independent Kenya was among the poor nations which saw the first Geneva conference 50 years ago as an opportunity to create an organization that embodied the aspirations and raised hopes that the great divide between the nations of the world could be narrowed and that the benefits of prosperity will be spread across the regions. Over the ensuing years, the faltering progress of my country and continent, the bumpy road ridden by this organization, and my own sojourn to self-realization remained intertwined and are embodied in who I am today. Back in 1964, trade and economic relations reflected the sharp distinction between North and South. Trade perpetuated a skewed and biased international division of labor. Developing countries relied mainly on export of primary products and import of high value-added products from manufactured goods from the former colonial powers. This relationship raised doubts as to whether political independence alone could provide economic emancipation the nations of the South so much aspired to. In creating UNCTAD, all the countries, both rich and poor, recognized that it was necessary to address this imbalance. To quote from what you members agreed at UNCTAD 1, economic development and social progress should be the common concern of the whole international community and should help strengthen peaceful relations and cooperation among nations. End of quotes. Since then, working with our member states, we at UNCTAD have strived to build a world economy that serves the interests of all. We have carried out analytical research and provided innovative thinking and policy proposals. We have served as a forum to foster consensus on achieving inclusive development. Through our technical cooperation, we have supported the efforts of developing countries and countries with economies in transition to benefit from globalization. In the process, we have helped to inform and shape the global development agenda, as well as building national capacities where needed. 50 years on, we have moved from a world dominated by North-South and East-West divisions to one of more complex relationships and new interconnectedness. Yet some of the same development concerns that animated the discussions of 1964 remain today. The need for inclusive growth is just as, if not more, compelling today. The same is true for the continued need to fight poverty. Despite progress in reducing the number of people living in extreme poverty, in 2010, 2.4 billion people are still surviving on less than $2 a day, only slightly fewer than the case was in 1981. As Nelson Mandela once said, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, at UNCTAD 1, the Kenyan representative spoke of the disconnect between per capita income figures and the reality of everyday life for millions of poor people who did not know where the next meal will come from and where they will sleep the next night. The challenge to not only foster trade and economic growth, but and also ensure that they translate into improved livelihoods is of particular relevance today at the end of a decade of jobless growth. It is central to creating development that is sustainable, economically, socially, and environmentally. The international community must keep this in mind as we step up the drive to complete the MDGs and agree on a transformative post-2015 development agenda. The agenda we define should aim to create conditions that will allow more countries to achieve the kind of virtuous circles of productive investment, rising incomes, poverty reduction, and expanding markets that bring about lasting economic and social transformation. In this regard, I'm encouraged by the ongoing discussions in New York on sustainable development goals, which are showing a clear realization that we must focus more on economic factors that will allow us to achieve more ambitious goals as a successor to the MDGs. I'm also pleased to say that UNCTAD is playing a lead role in modeling appropriate means of implementation for the SDGs. UNCTAD at 50 has grown the capacity to take a lead role in the structural transformation needed in developing countries. I can say with confidence that despite the new complexities reflected in new dynamics of trade, notwithstanding the reversals originating from uncertainties in the environment, in financial crisis, and security breaches, we remain fit for purpose. We stand ready and eager to carry forth the vision and hopes that inspired our founding fathers. We stand ready to help realize the dreams of children born in the poor homes of rich and poor nations alike. As the world has changed over the past 50 years, so have we at UNCTAD. Our scope has broadened to reflect the different needs and circumstances of our membership. We are committed to maintaining this spirit of adaptability and responsiveness. We can also strengthen the synergies and cross-fertilization between the three pillars of our work. Our experience has shown us that we have been most effective when our research and policy analysis, our consensus building efforts, and our technical cooperation activities have all pushed in the same direction. Bold ideas require political support and technical expertise to help them adapt to local conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, in early 2016, less than 2 years from now, UNCTAD 14 will take place in Lima, Peru. Before then, in addition to the deliberations to establish the SDGs, there will be a number of important meetings held under the UN auspices. These are set to include conferences of small island developing states in Apia, Samoa this September, as well as on climate change and financing for development. We will have a unique opportunity to work as one united nations and make the linkages that will allow us to help shape a brighter future. To succeed, we'll have to strengthen our multilateral cooperation and partnerships. As the Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, has just stressed, we will have to look toward the challenges ahead without forgetting what we have done and learned during the past 50 years. There is much more than symbolism in the documents that have been displayed before here today. They represent the outcomes of UNCTAD conferences to date, the collective work of our members. We can be proud of what we have achieved together. Let us also look forward to how we can join forces in the future in favor of inclusive prosperity. Thank you very much for your kind attention.